TWN podcast.
In case you didn't know, it's now April. March was long. It felt as long as January did when it comes to the Kincaid event, and it was horrible. But we're in April. Everyone's losing track of days. I have done it multiple times. It's WrestleMania in 2 days' time, which is mental to think. But AEW and NXT are here to make us feel a little bit better. As always, you're listening to me, your host. It's George. Hi, how you doing? And with me, hailing from Green Bay, Wisconsin, weighing 230 pounds, Mr. Cassidy!
I was wondering where you were going. Hello. Hello.
I realised it just before you got here that I was like, oh my god, that fits perfectly with Mr. Kennedy. Yes! And changed my intro. Because
it's good intro.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's just getting a bit. It's a bit weird at the minute. I've only just been off since Tuesday, so everyone going on about this long slog of not being in work. I mean, I've got that for a sort of month or so. So let's just see how that goes for myself.
Yeah, I'm working from home and losing track of days, and my hair is growing rapidly. I'm looking more homeless by the day, and I need a haircut. But we can get through this. NXT is going to get us through this. AEW is going to get us, and so will sponsors. Can't ever forget sponsors. Subscribe to us, guys, on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, and YouTube. TWN podcast are brought to you by We Love Sport, a wonderful app and a wonderful bunch of people because we all have lovely social media interactions with them. And they've got a brilliant app for finding your nearest sports bars that are showing WWE pay-per-views. I was meant to be at one on Sunday. Screw you, coronavirus. They've got over 400 sports bars across the whole of the UK, so it's all at your fingertips, and it allows you to book front row seats so you don't miss a thing. Download the app on the App Store or Google Play. Just We Love Sport. Follow them on all social medias, We Love Sport UK, and check out their website, welovesport.co. Additionally, go over and check out WrestleCrate, our brilliant sponsor when it comes to wrestling merchandise. Use your code TWN Wrestling for a free autographed item in your first box. If you continue that subscription, you get another one in your second box. If you continue that subscription, you get another one in your third box. And this month is the man, Becky Lynch. It's very, very cool to see such a big profile name in one of these boxes. I got 3 pictures with mine. One of them was Psycho Sid, which was pretty cool. One of them was Lucky Kid, who I definitely mistook for A Kid for about 5 minutes until WrestleCrate corrected me. And the other one was, I've forgotten who it was. It's on my wall. Oh, it was a big poster of Rhea Ripley. That was one. They're just really, really cool. They're so good. Go over to WrestleCrate.co.uk, check them out, use TWN Wrestling, and check out for an autographed item. Let's get into NXT. Into this week's NXT. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend watching it with sound, because Tom Phillips was joined on commentary by Sam Roberts.
Yeah, he wasn't. I didn't think Sam was that great, to be fair. But
he's terrible.
He was there.
He is awful. It hurts my ears to listen to his voice. I'm glad I don't have to look at his face because his hair annoys me as well.
Oh, I thought you meant by recommended people to listen to it that you actually really enjoy.
No,
that's
don't
all
listen to him. Turn the sound off, unplug the headphones, whatever you do, just don't listen to Sam Roberts' appalling commentary because he is terrible. We did have a couple of big matches last night. We had the gauntlet match for the final spot in the ladder match, which I think is next week, right? Am I right? Is it next week, the number 1 contender ladder match?
Yeah, that's next week, yeah.
It is next week. The competitors we had in it were Shotzi Blackheart, Deonna Purrazzo, Ken Carter, Xia Li, Dakota Kai, and Aaliyah. And Shotzi Blackheart went on an absolute tear. She took out 4 people in this match. She took out Deonna Purrazzo, Xia Li, Aaliyah, and Kaden Carter before she succumbed to the annoying interference by Raquel Gonzalez. So Captain Kota is heading into that ladder match next week as the 6th and final competitor. She tore it up though, Shotzi. I think Triple H loves her.
Yeah, they were doing the whole. I mean, I'm sick of seeing this in gauntlet matches now. To be honest, it's a tired formula, but they're doing what they did with Kofi Kingston for Shockley. So I can see that they're trying to get behind it. I just wish that they'd sort of changed the way they book up, because they literally just did that at Crown Jewel with R-Truth as well. So it's like it just gets a bit like you can see how they book it, which it's fine, but it just sort of loses its magic after a bit.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. One comment I have to make: Caden Carter, I love your colour matching. She had the same coloured earplugs, like the stretcher, as she did her contacts. It looks fucking brilliant. Wonderful. Aesthetically pleasing, that's the word I'm after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the matches themselves were at times a bit sloppy, but I think that just sort of speaks about the women of NXT. But I don't want to say too much about that. But Shotzi handled herself well, though.
Yeah, I like her submission. It's like I can't really know what to describe it. It's like, what is it, tiger suplex? It's like the tiger suplex hook, sort of leaning over. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And she took out 3 people with the submission. I think she pinned Deonna Purrazzo, and then Dakota Kai defeated her with the go to knee, which is a very creative name for a finishing move.
Yeah, definitely.
Last night we got a big boy fight, which WWE ruined the winner of. Just there tomorrow. Yeah.
Again, this felt a bit sort of dry about a crowd. Like there was a point where they were all 3 were lying down, and in a normal crowd environment, that would have elicited a response. Whereas here, I was just watching 3 guys lie down, and it was a bit like, oh, okay, yeah. So
3 guys having a nap.
Yeah, for what it was all right, but like they just kind of need to sort of change the style a little bit to sort of accommodate the fact that there's not a crowd there, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that one. It's just a little bit of a weird thing to see and to watch. It was really cool to have the NXT Tampa Bay Takeover logo in the background on the Tron during this triple threat match for the North American title, which was Dominik Dijakovic, Keith Lee, and Damian Priest. 3 just big.
Yeah, you're going to see that.
Go on.
I was going to say, you're going to see that for like a few weeks to come now, the NXT Takeover.
It's a brilliant logo, so I'm happy. It's a very nice looking logo. But yeah, so we got some big moves, big blokes hitting some hard hitting hard shots. It's very good when you've got 3 men who are massive, can hit hard, but are also unbelievably athletic as well. Like, it does make it very captivating. And like Brad said, if there was a crowd, this could have been like a 5-star potential.
It's about a 3-star if I was going to give it a rating, but it was still pretty decent. It was serviceable. It was a good match for what it was.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. And we got at one point a double cyclone boot from Priest and Big Dom, and they basically hit each other. Lee was laying on the floor, and they were just like, they fell onto Lee, and there was like a double pin. So I think that would have been made an even more interesting finish if they wanted to take the belt of Lee. They sort of wasted it doing it now because we knew Lee was going to kick out. Like,
So Steve, do you remember in the 90s when it with Steve Austin, Undertaker, and this is such a niche reference, and Kane at that end?
Yeah.
And Undertaker and Kane both double. Yeah, that was what I was getting at. That could have worked here, but I mean, I think that's the only time they've ever done that. So there we are.
Yeah, but if they could have done that as like a potential to finish, like take the title off Keith Lee. Obviously, we know Lee's not losing the title for a very long time.
Yeah, if it was normal circumstances, though, I think that it would have gone to thingy. What was his name? The Arrow guy. I forgot his name. Not Dominik Dijakovic.
Damien Priest.
That's it.
The Archer of Infamy.
That's it. I think that's who it would have gone to. But the fact that Raw after Mania is not going to be Raw after Mania, and Keith Lee isn't going to debut there or anything like that, I think it was the smart decision to keep it with him.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Innovative work by Priest. He gets picked up. He's got the nightstick. He whacks out the retractable nightstick. And as Tom Phillips likes to comment and make sure you know it is a retractable nightstick, as he does the flick and it all comes out. It comes out at the end. Obviously, well done, Tom. Thanks for pointing that out for us. Dom picks him up into the feast rise. As he spins around, he puts a knife priest onto Dom's knee, so it sort of takes him as a shock instead of hitting his face, which I think is a smart move. Then Keith Lee comes into the ring. He pounces Priest over the top rope and out the ring, hits a big bang catastrophe on Big Dom and pins him for the 3 to retain his title. I agree with Brad on, I'd say 3.5 star max in terms of this quality. People don't think the crowd make a match, but they really do. Yeah, I think it was a good match. It would have been a lot better in other circumstances, but there's nothing we can do about it.
No, nothing. Well, there is. There is actually, to be fair. I was going to say they could try and work a bit more faster-paced style and use more stuff that they use perhaps in Evolve, because that kind of works. The kind of faster-paced rather than a slower-paced match. And all men can physically do it. It works better for no crowd than a sort of a standardised play to the crowd spot match, but other than that, no, I agree. There's not much else you could have done, but perhaps in the future they can change the style. It depends how long this whole apocalypse lasts for.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Yeah, fair point. No, we got last night we got a singles Bobby Fish, which is not something we get very often. He's always in tag team matches with Kyle O'Reilly, but he was defeated by Velveteen Dream. Dream's obviously on his path to the NXT title, going through the Undisputed Era. He got a little promo on Cole after the match. But I think even this one was a little bit of a sloppy match as well. Like, it felt a couple of parts of it didn't seem to flow as well.
No, well, you start to notice that the guy, Patrick Clark has only been doing it for a couple of years. You start to notice some of his mistakes and where he can improve on when the focus is on him, rather than like sort of playing to the crowd. He can hide it a bit more. So yeah, I can see why that would have been a negative. But I actually thought this was one of the better. Well, besides a match that I thought was really underrated, which we'll get to later, this was one of the better matches of the night, I thought. Yeah, no,
it is an enjoyable match. Velveteen Dream reminds me of. Have you ever seen that? It's like a meme. It's a TikTok before TikTok even existed. Of that guy, and the caption's like when you get a fresh cut, and he's wearing a wig and he's sort of bopping his head left and right constantly, and then he's doing different things like eating crisps. And that, like, if you've ever seen that, that is what Velveteen Dream looks like 10 minutes into a wrestling match, because his hair just puffs out and it looks really odd.
Yeah, I wish I could say yes to sort of further along this podcast, but I do like to keep my integrity, so no, I have no idea what you're on about. I'll definitely give this a look up.
Don't worry then. Additionally, last night we got 2 NXT debuts for TV. Jake Atlas and one of my boys, Dexter Lumis, formerly known as Samuel Shaw in Impact Wrestling. Dexter Lumis came out with the win, and like the whole gimmick, for anyone who's never seen him, his gimmick is Dexter, the TV show Dexter. He is a psychopath, but he's really quiet, he's really reserved, and he's relatively decent at hiding it. Yeah. In Impact, he went a little bit like full hog on his actions, and he was abducting people and doing this, that, and the other. However, in WWE, he's managed to hone the point of creepiness to perfection with what he did to Jake Atlas after the match, and that was pin him, sit with his legs crossed, Jake Atlas's head on his lap, and just stroking him and staring.
I'm not going to lie, I don't watch TNA, hopefully for obvious reasons. But didn't he have like a weird what do you call it, like a straight jacket match against Mr. Kennedy? Like, he did have a straight jacket match, yeah. That's what I remember, and like Mr. Kennedy put him in a padded cell or something. That's all I know him for. To be honest, like to a novice like me, that this match was it felt a bit flat because I didn't really know who any of them were. I knew his face, but I didn't like quite know. I knew his name, Samuel Shaw, I guess, but like I didn't know much about him, and I have no clue who Jake Atlas is. So this match is just like, oh, it's this is I've no build, and there's 2 random guys here. This is fun. And they booked him from Parts Unknown, which I guess is where AEW is going to be filmed from now on.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, you are right. He did have a straight jacket after he spent a lot of time in Impact being creepy and obsessive over Christy Hemme. But his whole gimmick is just American Psycho, Patrick Bateman, and Dexter Morgan, sorry. And obviously they've gone full hog and called him Dexter anyway. but it works.
Yeah.
His mustache is creepy. His haircut is creepy. His eyes are creepy. He wears black leather gloves, which are most known to murderers, and people want to hide their fingerprints. So more Dexter Lumis on TV.
I'm going to say, do you think he started off being then like the bookers of TNA just saw him and went, "You look creepy. Let's put you as a creepy role." Because he did look a bit odd. I'm not going to lie.
He does look like he's a couple of pennies short, though, doesn't he?
I reckon he's quite intelligent, but yeah, he does look a bit odd. I'll say that much.
But more Dexter Lumis, please. WWE. It was very nice to see him. We got a promo Bivens hyping up his two big boys, Renku and Saurav is what we discovered their names are, and they were with paint on their forehead. It was obviously some form of cultural thing, I'm not too sure what it was, but Malcolm Bivens is just a legend and he's such a good promo, so thumbs up from me here. Right, there's nothing to complain about. Yeah,
I mean, the new Authors of Pain are looking good in their new roles.
I like that. New Authors of Pain. That's good. And then finally, we did get a match last night. Kushida and Joaquin Wild. Kushida coming out with the win via the hoverboard lock. And then later in the night, Joaquin Wild got abducted by Los Conquistadors. So they've now got two people in holding. I wonder where this is going.
Yeah, they look like they're going to join them up for the Dark Order. But to be fair, watching this match, it was the best match of the night by far because it was the best in ring sort of style for the crowd. Like
it was very technical, very technical, but very fast.
They've got plenty of wrestlers like that. Hell, stick Ricochet on what's he been doing recently? You know what I mean? Like
losing on main event.
Exactly. Get some actual like sort of people that can sort of play up to the camera on NXT, and it'll be a bit better. Like I'm not saying Keith Lee and that can't, but they're not working like they can. They 100% can do that. So sort of make the matches a bit more faster paced, a bit more sort of a bit crazier spots than you would normally do in an NXT, just until we get the crowd back, because this match works better than anything else on the show, I thought.
This just in, yeah. Brad Cassidy's now joining the Elite because he wants to be the third member of the Young Bucks. All the crazy spots. No, I agree with you. Yeah, like a faster pace would work better with no crowd because you don't pay attention. Like with a slower pace, you pay attention to the crowd. Like when you watch a match and two guys are on the floor, you sort of pay attention to the crowd are going clapping really fast and getting faster to hype everyone up. With a fast-paced match, you don't pay attention to that. You just look at the two people in the ring and what they're doing and are they going to try and kill themselves or not. So I agree with you. More fast-paced matches. However, I'm trying to think in the NXT roster, who have we got that can do that? Because
pretty much all of them. Keith Lee can do that. Dominic Dodge.
But I mean, like that's their style. Their actual style is that, like not having to change their style.
Oh right, no, I'm thinking of how they were on the independents, but their actual in-ring style. You could just get a bunch of guys from 205 Live just to intersperse it.
Yeah, Jordan Devlin. I can't find much in the UK.
But I mean, a lot of them are still doing SmackDown tapings, so they could go NXT. A lot of them, not all, obviously, but a lot.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
This set up for AEW as well as they moved into the venue due to life. So they're in a smaller venue now, which looks pretty cool. And they actually then went against social distancing rules and had wrestlers at the side of the rings as fans. They had the heels on the right side of the hard cam, faces on the left side of the hard cam, and Jimmy stood there looking like he's a bloke ordering a drink at the pub, which I mean, he's Jimmy Havoc anyway. But
to be honest, I I'll give them credit on that. They did try and stick to the social distancing rules because the people that were close together were either people that were family members, so Austin and Billy Gunn, or people
all
that
couples.
And that they did it properly. Yeah, they did that quite well. To be fair, the way that they've done
Yeah,
that.
do you know what? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
I didn't look at it like that. Good journalism.
that's all right.
And you got Orange Cassidy, who doesn't get diseases.
Oh yeah, because he's Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, exactly. He's invincible. And we got some big news break yesterday, or the day before it might have been, that there is a brand new AEW Championship to be made, and it has been named after the network they're on. So it's essentially a TV championship. Brad wanted the 6-man tag titles. Matty said TV title. Matt got it right. It's a TNT Championship, so it's obviously just going to be a secondary championship, similar to an Intercontinental or a United States or North American. There's 8 wrestlers in a tournament to be decided. 2 matches next week, 2 matches the week after. Then you've got the semi-finals, and then you've got the final at Double or Nothing.
I'm actually going to correct you. We've only got 1 match of that next week. We've got 2.
Oh, is it 1?
I assume we're having 1 on the 3rd week. Yeah, we're having 1 on the 3rd. I think we're having 1 on the 3rd week as well.
I'm not too sure. But the matches have been announced. 2 got announced on Dark, 2 got announced on Dynamite. We've got Cody versus Sean Spears, so it's a rematch of All In. When we thought Sean Spears was going to be shot to the next level and then didn't. We've got Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, a repeat of Revolution, so a very recent show. Lance Archer versus Colt Cabana, which is big to have someone like Colt Cabana in this tournament. And the final one is Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian. So you've got a mixture of experienced guys, you've got some younger guys in there, you've got newer talent in Lance Archer, and you've just got Colt Cabana in there because Colt Cabana's Colt Cabana.
Predictions. Who's winning?
If Lance Archer wasn't in this, I was going to say Darby Allin, but I feel like an idiot if I don't say Lance Archer.
I think Cody.
Do you think Cody?
Because he can't win. He can't win the championship, can he? But he can win this one.
Yeah, it's just true. I think it's just a little bit like champion this time. And what I wanted to do, what I liked to have been, was Sammy versus Darby in the final, but they're in the first bracket together. Then the winner of that goes on to face the winner of Cody or Sean. And after what?
Sorry. I think Cody versus Lance. I think Cody versus Lance will be the natural final because that's what they've been building up to with Jake Roberts.
Yeah, that's true. I would like it to be Darby versus Lance because that would be awesome. Like the little guy that's tenacious against the absolute destroyer that is Lance Archer. But yeah, I can see Cody, and then we got a tag team match based off the brackets. We had Cody and Darby versus Sammy and Sean Spears. Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara won, and after the match, Cody was consoling Darby Allin because Darby just got caught short and got pinned, and he decked Cody, which makes me think that the winners of the brackets is going to be Cody and Darby to follow off that match.
Yep.
Even though in their even in their little feud, Sammy and Darby won. So surely this would be Sammy's time to win it, but it's a difficult one, isn't it?
No, I can understand. No, I just see it because they built it for a few weeks. Lance versus Cody, closing it. I could see sort of people such as like Darby Allin and Kip Sabian having good rounds, but I don't see them lasting past semi-final.
If I was to predict this as I want to predict it, I would say Cody beats Sean Spears, Darby beats Sammy Guevara, Lance Archer beats Colt Cabana, and Kip Sabian defeats Dustin Rhodes. Lance defeats Kip, Darby defeats Cody, Darby, Archer, final, Archer wins.
So I'm saying Darby defeats Sammy, Cody Sean, Cody defeats Darby, Kip defeats Dustin, Lance defeats Kip, Cody defeats Lance.
Fair. Well, we've got Brad going for Cody, me going for Lance. We'll see who wins in about a month's time when we get to Double or Nothing. We also got a hilarious night from the Le Champion Chris Jericho, who's in his hot tub drinking some of the little bit of the bubbly. I haven't done that in a long time. He says that today is a holiday, like it's April Fool's Day. So he's basically just offended Martin Luther King, right? But Chris Jericho's allowed to. And he's never met bigger fools than the Elite. He just trashes them and like talks them down. But as he's talking, Vanguard 1 comes into camera. So Jericho gets out of his hot tub and starts talking to the drone because Jericho is now delusional and starts talking to a computerized machine that can't really respond. He says that he's glad Vanguard's here because he owes him an apology. He said, but he can't utter the word sorry. He wants to make it clear that Vanguard. He wants to make it clear, that Vanguard is he wants him in the inner circle. He grabs a tiny little inner circle t-shirt, clips it to Vanguard 1, and then shakes it, then asks him to shake on it. Obviously, Vanguard can't shake, he hasn't got the arms, so he flies off. Jericho tosses a bottle of bubbly at Vanguard, then shouts, "Release the hounds," for the dogs to chase him.
The most timid dogs ever. Most timid dogs ever. I've never seen a dog more timid than the one that he sent after Vanguard 1.
But it's also the fact that Chris Jericho offended Martin Luther King and stands for by saying Martin Luther King Day and April Fool's Day are the exact same thing. He also then mimics Mr. Burns by saying "release the hound," and he's still talking to a drone.
I know it sounds a bit stupid, but I don't think it's beyond sort of believability. Do you think that drone may end up joining the inner circle?
I just find it so funny. It'd be the best heel turn of 20. Vanguard 1 turning on Matt Hardy.
It sounds like something that he'd write, I'll say that much, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it. It would be hilarious if that did happen, but Chris Jericho just is comedy gold, no matter who he's with, whether he's a human or a robot, he's brilliant. So, more of this. More of him sat in a hot tub and saying, "Release the hounds," and it's just a timid little dog. Which definitely is his wife, so he got told off for doing that. Opening match of last night, Kenny Omega versus Trent Beretta. 20-minute time limit. This match ended in the 19th minute. Like, they gave Trent such a showing here. And it's so good to see. He did unfortunately lose after Kenny hit a V-trigger and a one-wigged angel. I was watching this thinking that they're about to hit a time limit draw and then we're going to get the best friends versus Kenny and Paige.
No, I had a feeling that Kenny would win, but he's doing it to put him over. And I like the fact that he didn't go into the 10-second mark because that is so cliche. They did just stick to the 1 minute mark, and I know it sounds very, very sort of specific, but it added to the quality of the match. Well,
I mean, they were counting down. They went 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3, 2, 1, and then obviously put a pinball.
But they didn't get into the 10-second mark. They only got into the minute mark, and it's so specific, but it adds to the unpredictability because if it's just always going to go to the 10-second mark, then it's just going to end in the 10-second mark. That one, because it ended halfway through the 1 minute mark, it added a bit more drama to it. I thought. Yeah,
no, that's a fair point. I did think I was at a time limit draw, and Trent was going to get such shine because Trent is class. He obviously had on the outside Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. And Chuck Taylor, fresh off his appearance on British Bake Off, because I still think Chuck Taylor looks exactly like James Blunt, and no one else ever agrees with me. But Chuck Taylor is put one of the best tweets I've ever seen regarding this match. I'm just going to find it quickly. He said, Greg said the S word on TNT right in front of me. Like, how have you ever seen such blatant disrespect? His own tag team partner, he says shit in front of him. He's pissed off about it. Twitter game maximum, Chuck Taylor. He's class. What else did we have last night? Hikaru Shida defeated. And obviously Cody was on commentary alongside Tony Giovanni. And they were saying that the person that speaks to the talent backstage and gets their like weights and where they're from and that sort of stuff, Anna Jay wouldn't tell her anything. So they had no idea who she was, what she weighed, where she was from. She lost anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
She was good though.
She was very good.
She was like WWE do squash matches, and I hate it. They just get random guys to come in and look like jumps. They gave Anna Jay quite a lot of offense here, and she looked really good. I'd love to see her back and sort of in this company.
Yeah, I agree with you. She had two Y's on her surname as well, which is different. It's Eddie. It's good. I like that. We got the in-ring debut of Lance Archer. Poor Marco Stunt. Poor Marco Stunt, man. He got brutalised.
this is a WWE squash, but they did it for the best reasons. Just seeing like him being absolutely brutalised by
ragdolled.
Yeah, I mean, poor Marco Stunt.
Poor man. And, like, Lance Archer comes out to the ring, takes out someone. I think it's the Doctor, and there's like the ringside physician, takes him down, gets into the ring, ragdolls Marco Stunt everywhere, like throwing him left, right, centre, hits him with I can't remember what move it is now, but he pins him and then pulls his head up for two. Obviously, his shoulders came off the canvas, and then he hits him with the most ridiculous chokeslam. Like Marco Stunt fell from about 10 foot.
Yeah, the move's called Blackout, if it helps you.
Blackout, that's the one.
Just where he chucks him over his head. But yeah, it was quite good, I thought.
Yeah, and then Lance Archer leaves, looks like he's about to leave, go away. Then he decides to turn around, get back in the ring, and start to beat up Marco Stunt again. A ringside behind the barrier, we've got Orange Cassidy, and we've got the Gun Club, obviously Austin and Billy Gunn, and warding him off, saying don't do that. I mean, Orange Cassidy sort of just waving his arm really, like lackadaisically, he's really not that interested. So Lance Archer gets on the apron, chokeslams Marco Stunt from the apron onto three of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was one fun to look at. But poor Marco Stunt. He's a Spike Dudley, isn't he, of the 21st, not even the 21st century, of the 2020s.
I don't like him. I don't like Marco Stunt. I don't have any connection towards him. He doesn't captivate me whatsoever. But I do feel sorry for him getting battered like that.
See, I'm warming to him. Seeing him getting battered just making me warm into him.
Well, fair enough. You must have been a fan of Spike Dudley then in the...
Yeah, or Crash Holly. I loved all those people. All of them were great.
Yeah, fair point. We've got more mocking of Vince AEW. Stop it. It's pointless. Brody Lee is doing his usual shtick of impersonating Vince McMahon. Someone yawns and he says yawning, which I don't think is a Vince McMahon quote. I know the sneezing is, but I don't think yawning is.
No, yawning is as well, because JR did it and they basically took the piss out of him for it for ages when he took the piss out of his do you remember when he ejected his arse and shit like that? Vince is
yeah, when he took the piss out of his Uzi for a long time.
Yeah, that's because he yawned backstage during a meeting. Yeah, Brody Lee is. I don't get everyone bitching going leave Vince McMahon alone. Vince McMahon was the first to do this with the billionaire Ted sketches. Like, seeing Brody Lee do it, it's just a bit of karma, and I actually find it quite funny.
For me, it's not Brody Lee, it's AEW as a whole. It's just pointless taking shots at WWE. Like, it's not really going to get you anywhere, and it's going to make some of your fans turn on you because you're pointlessly just noticing the other competition. We all thought AEW would be that competition, other ones they're affiliated with, and just do some wrestling. But at the minute, they're still taking the mick. Obviously, if we get Brody Lee come out and do the $1 billion walk, that's when things got to change.
No, I love it. I love Brody Lee being the piss take Vince McMahon. But see, they used to do all this stuff on WCW back when it was good as well. So it's not like it's a new thing to take jabs at WWE.
I mean, everyone takes jabs at Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon is weird. Next week we'll get him asking for a burrito and it's actually a meat wrap or whatever.
Exactly.
And this did lead to a tag team match between the Natural Disasters, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. Actually, saying QT Marshall, I think he was one of the, which is, I think they mentioned in the commentary. Got Natural Disasters defeating the Dark Order. Post-match, Brody Lee comes out, he stares down Dustin, but they don't really do anything. He gets in the ring, powerbombs one of the minions, stares down the other minion, and leaves. So he's like, he's being a dick to those who fail him in a sense, which is fair.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the right way for a cult leader to be, I guess. So it goes with his character.
Yeah, very true. And the final thing we got from the Young Bucks on the state of Nick Jackson. They were back at their houses, one of their houses in Rancho Cucamonga, California. That's a mouthful to say. Very vague, but Nick basically says he doesn't know when he's going to return. But obviously, I don't know if it's a real injury or if it's kayfabe, but we won't be seeing Nick Jackson for a while.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
Brad, what was the better show for you?
Better show.
It's a tough one this week.
I'm going to go with AEW. No, I mean, it was the same. I don't think neither were actually amazing, but I'm going to go with AEW because I thought the in-ring style was a bit better. What about yourself?
I'm going to say AEW as well. I agree with you, the in-ring style was much better. And with the tag match and Kenny and Trent and the women and Chris Jericho's promo. It's pure and simple. I think is the reason why I'm going to go with AEW this week. I agree with you. Neither show was particularly incredible. There was nothing amazing on either show, but AEW was more consistent throughout the time, and having the new championship announced is pretty cool. It gives us some exciting future to look forward to in AEW. And I think someone's... Oh, no, there's an ambulance. I thought someone was doing boobies there, but no, it's the ambulance outside my window. Bit of news. We've got a bit of news. I've written down a few for you on the script, Brad. If you'd like to take over, it's your time.
So, my turn to say the news here then. So, next week's NXT is the number one contenders ladder in this championship between Chelsea Green, Candice LeRae, Maya Yim, Io Shirai, and Dakota Kai. I think Tegan Knox will win. Either Tegan Knox or Chelsea Green will win this. Who do you think will win the ladder match this week?
Whoever wins is going to lose to Rhea Ripley, but I'm going to say... who are the other three?
Who are the other three? I'll go back up.
Tegan, Dakota, Chelsea Green. Oh, Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae, Maya Yim, and Io Shirai.
I'm going to go Io Shirai. Bit of a curveball, but I feel like what's going to happen? Io Shirai, Tegan Knox on the ladder together. Dakota Kai costs Knox. They brawl to the outside, leaves Io Shirai on her own. She picks up the contract or whatever's above the ring. I'm going to say Io Shirai.
Oh, that's fair enough. I'm going to go with Chelsea Green just because of the whole Robert Stone angle that's going on at the minute.
Fair point.
So next week's AEW Dynamite, we'll see Cody versus Shawn Spears. Other matches that will be held in the first round, which will actually be the week after. These two matches are it's Lance Archer versus Colt Cabana. And where are we here?
Is it Sammy and Thingy, isn't it?
Sammy, yeah, Sammy Guevara. Yeah, that's correct, yeah. And it's going to be, in 2 weeks, an empty arena, no holds barred match for the AEW World Championship. I don't know why it says empty arena, but it does. Between Jake Hager and Jon Moxley. Yeah,
I think they're... Go on.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I think they're calling it no any alias or whoever it would be of Moxley. Maybe that would be why.
I mean, it's a no holds barred, so people can interfere, but I don't see Moxley losing.
No, I don't know. Is that your news done? Because I do have two extra things. That's you done.
That is, yeah, that is. If I've missed anything, sort of tell me. That's fine.
Well, one of the big things going in for wrestling at the moment is the state of Florida has basically put the city in lockdown, which could have catastrophic effects on WWE. Obviously, originally we had AEW being emanating from Jacksonville, Florida. They have now moved, and they're in a secret location, which they won't disclose to anyone in case they get fans outside the ring, outside the arena, trying to get autographs and high fives and pictures and that sort of stuff. WWE has obviously filmed at Full Sail University, which is in Windsor Park, Florida. So, NXT, NXT Raw and SmackDown, which are all being filmed there in a minute, could potentially stop because of the lockdown. But if there's a company that's going to be able to get pulled, it'd be WWE.
I mean, they're not gonna overrule that. But do they not have like Madison Square Garden or anywhere else they could go for this?
They wouldn't do it in MSG. It's too big to have an empty arena, isn't it?
Don't WWE have some rights to it? They're like Tony Khan did to the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. That's the only thing that I could think of with that. I can't think of any other place they could potentially do it.
Unless they borrow a facility from someone. No. And other news is Brad told me off air is Nick Jackson is a father. Again, I don't know if he's already got kids. I know Matt does. But that's the reason why he's been written off TV with injury. He's had a kid.
He's not had it yet, but he will have a kid.
Or, one or the other. He's either having a kid or will have a kid. He may already have another kid, but the reason why he's not on TV at the minute, he's on paternity and flights and that sort of stuff. So that is why we are not getting any Nick Jackson on our screens, but we are done with the Wednesday Night Awards podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at TWM Wrestling on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean and YouTube. Head over to twm.news right now. Read yourself some wonderful articles. Brad, have you got one this week?
No, I don't, but I've got one that I should have been out last week. I'll make sure it's out for this week. But to be perfectly honest, the whole craziness of my job was kind of keeping me a bit preoccupied, so I'll make sure that's out for this week for you.
Mine's out on the weekend, I think. I've actually forgot you. I thought I'm a very bad journalist to forget. Mine's out Saturday. Cool, gives me an extra day to make sure it's all polished off. But we got some obviously retro stuff going on. We had Joe with an article on what did we learn from Chris Benoit's Dark Side of the Ring, something I still need to watch. Greatest video packages went out on Wednesday by Dan, which is a lovely article to read because WWE make the best video packages possible. And Dan's a brilliant writer, as are all of our writers. We're all wonderful. Wednesday, we additionally had Shaleem's article, why AEW WWE. So I agree with you on that one. We got a movie review by Adam for The Wrestler, but it says not that one, so I assume it's a different one. I haven't actually had the chance to read it yet.
1974. 1974. It's just gone on there.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to read that when I'm done. We've also got, going out today, what did we learn from Nick Jack's Dark Side of the Moon? Dark Side of the Ring, that's the album by Pink Floyd. Tomorrow we've got some predictions going up for WrestleMania 36 and what's the problem with this year's WrestleMania 36. And this Saturday you've got 36 WrestleManias, 36 awful matches by Mr. Matty D, and my article which is why you should be excited about WrestleMania. That's because it's WrestleMania. Okay, if there's no fans or there's a million fans, it's WrestleMania. Be excited.
Even though you forgot it was this week, but oh well.
No, I knew it was this week. I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow, not Saturday. All right. I'm just getting my timings right. I'm getting flustered. I'm getting hot. I'm going to get out of here. Follow me, guys, on social media at George_Geal_Brad. Social media, please.
My Twitter's at BradCassidy170. And just search my name, Bradley Cassidy, on the website. You'll find everything that I've done.
Stay safe, guys. Wash your hands. Look after each other. We love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.